Hey, it's Mila. Welcome back to my channel.
I go around and I go around and I go around, I go around. I'm always out, I am always out, I am always out, I'm always out. I keep running so I don't have to go.
So if you go back in time, I came out with a video about Greek life. Like nothing, I think I came out with 2 videos like revolving around Greek life. My initiation dress and then making the basket for my little. That was like back when I had just joined the sorority, so it was all like very new for me. I wasn't like as integrated as I am now, so I definitely wanted to like, you know, wait until I had more experience and stuff like that before coming on and like really talking in depth about like Greek life and my sorority experience. I just want to like put it out there. I am currently the president of my sorority, so I feel like, you know, like I'm someone who can like talk about this because I've been like a PNM, I've been a new member, I've been an active, I've held a VP position, I'm currently president. So like I've like been everywhere, so I feel like, you know, from like someone who joined based on, oh, this seems like a nice idea, to like becoming president, I feel like I kind of wanted to like sit down with you guys and like talk about just how sororities are. Like I don't know what I'm gonna call this video yet, but this is basically like your survival guide to sorority life, from like when you first think about, okay, like is this for me, to being fully integrated as a member. Like obviously I can't talk about like post-graduation life because I'm not there yet. I'm going into my final year of university in a couple of months in the fall. So yeah, I just want to like talk about just basically the ultimate like survival guide for if you're thinking about joining Greek life. So if you're new here, my name's Mila. I make everything from college, lifestyle, and bookish type content. Again, it's my last year of university, so I feel like I really want to like try to focus on sorority content in the fall semester, maybe in the winter, I don't know yet, but like really in the fall because my course load is a little bit lighter. Definitely let me know if you are interested in more sorority content, because I definitely like, this is a big part of my life, so I'd love to share it with you. Maybe even little vlogs or stuff like that, so definitely let me know. And yeah, let's get like right into it. I have all my notes on my iPad. I'm gonna divide this video into how many categories? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I'm dividing this video into 4 categories, and basically it's going to cover everything. So first we're going to be looking at You Sorority Material, then going into recruitment, then your new member experience, and then experience as an active. So as I mentioned, we're going to be starting with You Sorority Material. So basically over here, it's just like questions to ask yourself to see, okay, is this something for me, or is it something that I've seen on TV, I've maybe seen my friends in, and it's more of a like idealized, like romanticized, like what I want out of college, and not like this is for me. I do want to say that from when you join to when you're like, when you've been an active for like even a year, like there's so much growth that happens. You become like not a complete different person, but definitely me, when I joined to where I am now, I'm a completely different person. Like so many things changed, but I feel like fundamentally the answers to these questions have always been the same. Like if I answer these questions back when I was a PNM versus like now as president, my answers would be the same. So I feel like, you know, like think about these questions, be real with yourself, because yes, the idea seems amazing. It obviously gives you something to talk about with people. It's like an interesting thing about you that might not be like super common where you're from, so it definitely has a nice like ring to it. But it's also like, I don't want you guys to join just because you're like, oh, this makes me look a certain way, or this is like a good talking point when I meet people, or it gives me like this thing that I really want, but I don't care about the other things. Like, no, like I want you guys to join because you really want to embrace this experience. Like I don't want you to join then basically hate it, you know? So yeah, I'm just gonna read you off the questions that I have over here, and we're gonna see if you are a sorority material and if this like a sorority is meant for you. So the first question that I came up with is, do you like putting yourself out there in social settings? I'm not saying that if you're more introverted, this is not for you. Like that's not at all what I'm saying. Like we have a couple of girls who are more like, I wouldn't say interesting, more introverted, and they still love their experience. They still so involved. Like being introverted or extroverted really has nothing to do with it. It's just like, how willing are you to put yourself out there? I've always been more extroverted. Well, I mean, I consider myself as like a shy introvert, but since I joined university, I was so much more extroverted. Like I didn't join my first semester. I was always more extroverted, but I feel like getting to know people my first semester, I was much more reserved, much more like not really putting myself out there. And like in the end, it didn't like, I still made super good connections and stuff like that. I still put myself out there, but it's like, I didn't have the best first semester experience because I wasn't actively doing that. Just be real with yourself. Like, are you comfortable? Are you confident enough to put yourself out there, talk to people, get to know them, whether it's girls like from your sorority or from other organizations? Are you someone who doesn't have a problem reaching out, connecting with people, or do you feel more like you want to stay in your own bubble and things like that? Like, maybe it's like one thing to consider. Obviously, if you're introverted or you're more reserved, does not mean you should not join, but it's something that you do have to consider because it's a very big like social experience. The second question is going to be, are you good at balancing your academics with your social life? Time management is a huge thing, especially if you go for a position. It's such a big thing, even if you're just an active. But we have like weekly meetings, we have activities. Most activities are mandatory. It's not like if you have class, like you have to miss your class to go. Like, no, like it's mandatory because it's like you're supposed to, like, you're paying for this, you're supposed to come. Yes, people are in majors that require more time, less time. Some have more class hours, some less. Some people work like 30 hours a week, other people don't. Like, personally, me, I'm an engineering major. My class hours, comparing it to my friends who are in psych or who are in like accounting, finance, things like that, my like school schedule is so much more packed than them because I have my 3-hour lectures, my tutorials, which is an extra like 1.5 to like 2.5 hours per week. I have labs, which can range from an hour and a half to like 4 hours. I have so much going on in my school schedule, but I know how to manage it. I don't let my school affect my life in the sorority, and I don't let the sorority affect my life in school. Like, obviously, midterm week, I'm gonna be putting much more focus on that than on sorority things. And yes, like, you're gonna miss an event here and there. Like, if you're being honest with yourself and you cannot manage your time, maybe that's something to consider, that's something to work on before deciding to join a sorority. Because even if you're like, oh, I can work on it when I join the sorority, cool, but then like we do take attendance. You don't want people chasing after you for you not coming to events, and also the people who are chasing after you, like, they don't want to do that. They don't want to feel like they're like, you know, like monitoring you or things like that. Like, that's not what we want. So just really be honest with yourself. Can you manage your time or not? You know, obviously everyone has different things going on. Just see like where your priorities lie, and if you can prioritize the sorority, then that's amazing for you. If not, maybe reconsider or just take some time to work things out, find better like methods, and, you know, maybe join another semester. The third question, how do you feel about weekly meetings and activities? So as I previously mentioned, like, we do have weekly meetings. There are chapter meetings. Sometimes I think the shortest one that I did this semester was like 30 minutes. Other ones can range, if we have an activity, to like maybe 2 hours. Yes, they're not super long compared to other events, but it is a weekly commitment, you know? And we have our sisterhood activities, which they are mandatory events because it's like you'd want to come, right? I'd say plan like minimum 2 hours for that. There's social events, minimum 2 hours for that. Philanthropy events, like, it ranges like depending on what the sorority that you're interested in does. But it's like there's a lot going on every single week. Like, I'd say basically plan to have like a meeting and then at least one type of activity or something going on every single week. And that kind of goes into like what I mentioned before, like, are you good at managing your time? Again, obviously from week to week things are different. Sometimes you can come to events, sometimes you can't, but just be aware that there's things going on every single week, and then recruitment on top of that. Like, it's a mandatory event. Like, you should be there every single day getting to know people. Like, is it something that you can do? Honestly, recruitment, it's a hard time for everyone. Like, even for me, I've been through the recruitment process. Like, it was my semester, the semester after me, the year that I had held a VP position, and this one, I've been through 5 recruitments. It doesn't, like, it's still super tiring, but going back to what I said before, it is a time commitment, and just make sure that you're comfortable with everything that will be going on. Like, obviously, if you go to like recruitment events, talk to the girls there, see what their weekly schedules look like, because I'm pretty sure like it does differ from like campus to campus and like sorority to sorority. But plan for at least like 2 days of your week being taken up by sorority events. Then the fourth question that I have for you guys is, do you prefer being in a big group of girls or do you prefer doing your own thing? So this kind of like ties in with the first thing that I talked about. No, like, when you're joining the sorority, like, you're joining a sisterhood, you're joining this big group of girls, this group of girls that have a history that go back so many years. like these group of girls that have such a strong connection. And yes, I have amazing connections with the girls from my sorority. I also have amazing connections with my friends like from high school, from university, who aren't in the sorority. I'm from Montreal, so like CJAP. But none of these connections are the same. Like there's just something about being with the girls from the sorority. I'm the type of person who I love sharing these experiences. Like I want to do things with these people. I want to make plans. I want to have these girls' nights. I want to go study with them. I love being around them because of how they lift me up and the energy that they have and things like that. And yes, I'm a person who loves people. As I said, I'm more extroverted, so I love that. If you're someone who's more introverted, as I said, it's not something that can like hurt you, but just know that a lot of big plans are happening. And if you're more introverted, I don't want you guys to feel like more left out, or you're like, you don't come to events, people don't stop inviting you to these events. Like, know that this is a big like friend group, and this is something that we say in like my sorority for all of our new member meetings. You get what you put into it, you know? Like if you actively go make the friendships, make these connections with people, you're gonna get this huge, amazing friend group. If you're more on the side, kind of more shy, not really going to get to know people, you're not gonna get as much out of it. Like obviously some people, you know, you can make connections with like, you can make really strong connections with like 2-3 girls, and then the rest are just like acquaintances, and they're fine with that. Me, I'm more like, yes, I do have my more acquaintances in the sorority, but I'm like genuinely like friends with everyone. Obviously there's some girls who I'm like much more closer with who joined around the same time as me, because we just like grew in the sorority together. But I feel like I'm much more open to getting to know everyone, even like the new members. Like as president, I sit down with like the new members, get to know them. Like that's how I am. And I feel like if you're like me, this is going to be an amazing experience for you. But once again, if you're more introverted, just like really like sit with yourself and be like, okay, if I see all these girls going out and I'm not really going out, like is it going to affect me? Am I going to feel FOMO and things like that? Or will I be fine? Yeah, just like sit with yourself, think about that. Because again, I don't want you guys to have a bad experience, because it was one of the best things in my life to join a sorority, and I really don't want to like again have someone have a bad experience, because I feel like talking to you guys, I feel like I'm talking to my new members, because before being president I was VP. Like in my sorority we call it VP new member educator. I think Fras call it pledge masters. I know we use it different in the other sororities. I'm basically the one who was like managing the new members. That mentality definitely carried on like into presidency, and I feel like now I'm talking to you guys like I'm talking to my new members. Like I want you guys to have an amazing experience, to bond, to get along. But also again, some people have the personality for it, some people don't, and it's sad joining a sorority because also you're investing money and stuff like that. It's sad joining a sorority, investing your time, your money, your energy, and then seeing it's not for you. You know, have these discussions with yourself, like see where your priorities lie, what type of person you are. Is it something that you really want because you know that it's right for you, or if it's just like an idealized thing that you're like, oh, this will look good on a CV, or this would make me look a certain way. Like, sit with yourself, think about that. And if you decide that a sorority is for you, we're gonna move on to the second part of this video, which is sorority recruitment. The first big thing over here is to do your research on all the sororities on your campus. So on my campus, we have 2 big ones, then we have like 2 other ones. So I'm one of the big ones. When I was interested in the sorority, like the one that I'm in, it's the main one I had my eye on, so I didn't really like look into other sororities. But I know a couple of my friends who joined like the semester after me. They went to other sororities, saw the vibes, and they were like, okay, like I'm not really vibing with this one, but with you guys I feel so much more included, so much more like I'm building relationships here. Maybe this one, kind of, but not as much as you guys. You know, like really do your research on all these sororities. Like talk to girls from all these sororities. Look at their Instas, because honestly, some Instas, like some Instagram accounts, it's like you can see that people are actually friends, and that's so much more enticing to join than some accounts where it's like it's pictures but it's not like stories. You know, like find the sororities that love each other, that share stories, share experiences, share are amazingly like bright, enthusiastic people. They want to meet you, they want you to be a part of it. Like find that sorority for you. Obviously do not like limit your options like from the get-go. Like if you see that something completely is not your vibe, I say don't bother, but make your pros and cons, see what's interesting or not. go to the recruitment events and after like talk to people, and then I'll talk about this a bit more, but like, you know, really like do your research on like all your options. The next little tip I have is to make yourself memorable, and this is a big thing. Like, again, I went through so many recruitment events. Some girls who are in the sorority right now who joined after me, I don't remember what I talked to them about during recruitment. Obviously, we're friends, so it doesn't matter. Even if we're not like super tight, it doesn't matter because we still talked and they're here, I'm here, like we have a bond and stuff like that. But there's some girls who I remember like these experiences with them during their recruitment. I don't know if she's watching this video right now, but my friend Juliet, like I remember I talked with her, like Juliet and Lily. Lily's actually my little. I talked to these two girls because they joined like the semester right after me. I talked to them the first recruitment event, and then we would talk like every single recruitment event, and now they're two of my closest friends in the sorority. It's just like every single semester there's these like one or two girls that just stand out. Like Juliet was that we had this like PJ party event and she like bought herself a whole new set of PJs from like Victoria's Secret, and I was like, it's such a cute set. Like it shows so much dedication and I love that. Like I still remember that because she made herself memorable. Lily, it was just like what she was talking about, her experiences, that made her so memorable to me. I remember there's this one girl who joined when I was the new member educator. Like she was talking about how she was taking a hip-hop class, and I was like, wait, like as in you're dancing? She's like, no, it's like a theory of hip-hop class. Just make yourself memorable. Like it doesn't have to be like a huge personality trait. It's just like something that's different from other people. Talk about that because that's what people are gonna remember. Like obviously your energy matters and things like that. I'm gonna talk about it a bit more like in a couple of seconds, but really like find something that makes you stand out from people and mention that. Like I think I talked about my YouTube channel because no one else in the sorority has a YouTube channel, and that's like my thing. That's, oh my god, I just pulled my hair. That was like my thing. That's kind of like what sets me apart from others. Just find that thing, talk about it. Obviously don't be bragging, but just talk about it. Obviously the girls from the sorority are going to be super interested. They're going to want to learn more. When it comes down to picking who they want in the sorority, that thing is going to make them be like, I want this girl inside. I like this girl because of this thing. So make yourself memorable. That's probably one of the biggest tips I can give you for sorority recruitment. So my third tip for a sorority rush is to keep a positive attitude. Yes, we all have good days, we all have bad days, but remember the like fronts that you show to these sorority girls, that's what they're going to base their decision on, whether if they want you in it or not. Really here, first impressions do matter. And like, let's say your first day, you're in a horrible mood, it's just like not working out, that's fine, like perfectly understandable. Just really try to push yourself to be positive, be happy, be bubbly, like be someone that people want to talk to. Like if you're like, I would not talk to myself because I'm closed off, that's not what you want to present. It's like, I'm not saying to be fake and stuff like that. Just be genuinely excited to be there, be happy to be there. Like if you're having a bad day or things are just like not going right, you can honestly talk to like about this thing to the active who you're talking with, because more often than not they're going to be like, okay, like this girl, all these things happened to her, but she still came and she talked to me, and like I'm pretty sure someone brought something like this up. Maybe, I don't know when it was, but one of the semesters when we were doing our new member selection, someone mentioned something like that. Honestly, I do not remember if we took this girl in or not because I don't remember who it is. People really admire you making an effort even on your hardest days. You don't need to be fake, because honestly, like being fake is the worst thing you can do, because some people aren't going to see through it. Other people can spot it like that. Once an active sees you as someone who's fake, that's it for you. Like it's done. It's more beneficial to just be honest if you're not feeling it, and then talk about it with the sorority girl, because if you get in, this person might be your big, or it just could be someone who you develop such a good connection with. Just be more open. Obviously you don't have to share your entire life story, but if you feel comfortable sharing, or you should only share a little bit, that's going to help you more than either not showing up to the event or trying to fake like a happy front just to like try to get in, like, because it's not gonna get you in. Like being honest and open and just more of a positive energy, that's gonna get you in. And finally, the last little tip for over here is to talk to as many people as possible. Obviously you want to talk to the active, you want as many actives to know you, so when we do new member selection, they have good things to say about you, they have good qualities about you that they notice, good traits about you that they notice, but you also really want to talk to as many PNMs as possible. PNMs are basically potential new members. So during recruitment, everyone who shows up, we call them PNMs. These girls are the ones who are going to be joining their sorority with you. Like, they're going to be the ones that you're going to go through your entire journey with. And yeah, you're going to have their friends that are older classmen, younger classmen, but these girls who are in your class, they're the ones who you experience your first semester in the university, in the sorority with. I got super close with these two girls. Like, unfortunately, they're not in the sorority anymore. Like, one dropped because of like personal things going on, and the other one, she like switched schools. But these two girls, we went through all of these experiences together our first semesters, and yeah, they were ups, they were downs. Honestly, the person who I became today, me becoming comfortable in this environment, I know that it's all because of these girls. So really, do not like put aside talking to other girls who are in your situation, because also they're in your situation, they know what you're going through. I remember like last semester, so many, like not last semester, in the fall, girls show up to these events, meet each other, they follow us, like obviously we follow back, and we see them going out together. Like, even before they get into the sorority, we see them spending time together, and we're like, this sorority, even if they don't get in, coming to our recruitment event made this friendship. So really, yeah, like talk to as many actives as possible, because obviously that gives you the higher chance of getting in, but also really talk to as many PNMs, because again, these girls are going through the exact same journey as you, and the friendship you can have with them is going to be such a strong friendship. So you've survived recruitment. It's a lot for everyone. Now you're a new member. I was, as I mentioned, VP new member educator, so I spent, like, it was the first position that I had. Like, normally people go for chair, then VP. I automatically got a VP position. Super grateful for that. I've been with new members. Like, I had my new member experience then, because I joined, like, our university does recruitment, like, winter and fall. So I joined winter of 2022, fall 2022, that's when I got my bigs, my littles, and I started making connections. Then the year of 2023, I was VP new member educator, and then 2024, I am now president. So I see the new member experience differently from other people, because literally my semesters were new member, big, and then new member educator. I feel like that's like, those are like credentials to talk about this. But basically the first thing that I want to say is to attend all events. It's going to help you build connections with the actives, because yes, you talk to actives during recruitment, but so much is going on that you don't really get to talk to all of them. Really, like the first week when you join, that's the best time to talk to as many people as possible. Try to talk to all the actives. It can be during sisterhood activities, or even like during chapter. Like, go sit down next to an active, be like, hey, my name's this, and just like start talking about something. Like, sure, it might be a little awkward for you. It's going to be awkward for the active also if you've never talked, but they're going to appreciate it so much. And they're going to remember that. They're going to be like, this girl who's new made an effort to talk to me, to get to know me. It makes me feel so special. Like, I've had people saying that, and I felt that also. So really, like, go to every single event when you're a new member, especially your first week. The first week is the most important thing. Like, obviously there's bid day, which is your, like, it's your introduction to the sorority. There's a little like ritual and stuff like that, but it's like, it's not like full initiation. It's just like, you got in, now things are getting more serious. Like, there's bid day, and after that, a bunch of activities. My university, we have a Greek weekend, which is maybe around a month after bid day. So really, like, go to the events, make your connections so you can make the most out of Greek weekend. Because obviously, if you don't know the girls in your sorority that well, like, why would you, like, you're not gonna feel super comfortable meeting other sorority girls and frat guys if you don't have these connections in your sorority. So honestly, the biggest tip I can give you as a new member, go to absolutely every single event that you can. Socials, sisterhood, chapter, go to chapter, because that is a prime time to get to know people, because everyone is there after, like, I mean, at least for us, we do it an evening after school. I know some people do it like Sunday nights, but if it's like after school, like after classes, you know, like text in your group chats, hey, does anyone want to go grab a coffee? Does anyone want to go grab dinner before chapter? Like, that is how I bonded with so many people. because you're all there, like you're all hungry, you all like low-key would rather go home than to go to chapter. Everyone is in the same experience. Like that is the best way to really start getting to know people. And yeah, like sisterhoods are perfect. Philanthropy also, if there's a tabling event, really go to absolutely everything, so you make these connections, you make these friendships, and you get like the most out of your experience. Because as I mentioned before, like it's something that me and this other girl say in our chapter, like you get what you put in. So go to events, talk to people, you're gonna make amazing connections. So coming from a new member educator, this isn't really a tip, it's just like what's going on. New member meetings, lessons, whatever you want to call it. When you're a new member, you are learning about how the sorority functions, how like you're learning about the history, our national organization, important people, and all that. It's a lot of information. Like chances are you're not gonna remember it. Me as a new member educator, like I learned so many things, honestly, like preparing my lessons, because when I was a new member, I wasn't paying attention. The girl who's doing it right now, she kind of like organized things a little bit differently. Like we talked a bit to see, okay, like what I was doing like this, like last semester, like last year, if I could do it differently, I would do this differently. These are my tips. And then I was like do what you want. Like these are my presentations, these are the presentations from the new member educator before me, this is what I would do different, these are my tips, and then do what you want. Because like my whole thing as like president, I was like, do whatever you want and tell me how I can make it easier for you. I wasn't able to attend all of her meetings, but it was the same thing as my meetings, like a lot of information, people are very confused, like it's perfectly normal, but really use this to learn about how things are. Like we don't go super in depth about rituals, but you really get to see like what sorority life is like. We talk about positions. It's a great way to learn about positions, because when it comes to elections, which I'm going to talk about like a bit later on, like you know the positions a little bit more, and you like know like what you're cut out for, what you're not cut out for. Nationals, like there's this obviously like way too ahead for you guys, but you know, some people decide to go work for nationals, some people volunteer for nationals, some people work as these like techs, which are traveling educational consultants, I want to say. I could be completely wrong, but you know, like once you graduate, you can like go around from chapter to chapter and like help the girls and stuff like that. Like all these things, like all these opportunities you learn through these new member meetings. There's also scholarships and stuff like that. If you can go, you can go, but try to always like know what was said. Go to all these new member things, because once again, like it's going to get you super close with the new member class. In my experience, you always get super close to your new member educator. Like I felt like a type of connection with mine, and I do feel like I was like that person that girls felt comfortable with, the girls turned to whenever there was something wrong when I was new member educator. And some of the girls who were in my new member classes, like they became like really good friends of mine. Your new member educator is just gonna have, you're gonna have like a special bond with her. It's gonna be someone who you know you can come to for absolutely anything. So really go to these events, make that bond with your new member educator. And I'm sure like your new member educator, like you can ask questions that you think might be super stupid, but your new member educator like really appreciates that, because she's like, okay, this girl is trying, this girl actually wants to be here, this girl's putting energy into this, like this is the type of person who I want to help her. I just, you know, like it's just, please go as a new member educator, like as a previous new member educator, please go to all of these new member events. Then the last little thing I'm going to talk about for this chapter, or for this like section, is Big Little. So Big Little is such a cute thing. I love Big Little. I organized Big Little twice. I mean, obviously I had my Big Little reveal, and I had my Big Little reveal as a little and as a big, and it's just such a fun time. Like also seeing it from the new member educator point of view, like yeah, it's stressful because you have to organize it and make sure everyone's like on top of their things. It's so cute watching girls get so excited. It's literally the most wholesome thing ever when I'm like looking back at it now. When you join during your new member meetings, the new member educator is going to talk to you about my chapter works is that we have a list of bigs. You get to know the bigs, and then you see like which one you connect with the most. I don't know if other chapters it's like a little bit different, but us, like normally it's the people who got initiated the class before you. I know some other places it's like different classes. Some people don't do twins, some do, some triplets, some no. We do twins. I mean, I had twins. One of the girls dropped, unfortunately, because she couldn't, like, manage with everything she had going on in her life. So I have twins. I only have, like, a single child now. But yeah, it's just such a cute little thing, and it really helps you get to know the girls. And my biggest thing for doing Big Little as a little, don't be scared to reach out to the bigs. I know that a lot of girls, me included when I was a little, I felt so intimidated being like, okay, like, I'm reaching out to this person who I don't know, like, I don't want to be annoying, I don't know if she's gonna think that I'm weird or something like that. Like, no, like, the bigs really, really appreciate you reaching out to them. Like, I really appreciated that when I was a big and then managing, like, Big Little, like, seeing my new members reaching out to the bigs, I was like, this is everything. This is so wholesome. This is so cute. I love that. Don't be afraid to reach out. Like, coffee dates, study dates, those are the most, like, common things. And yeah, just, like, make the most out of it, because even if, like, you don't get your first choice of a big, you're gonna have an amazing friendship with them. Like, my semester, we did our top 5. I was probably, like, high up on some people's lists, and they didn't get me as a big. I put girls on my list that I didn't get as littles. But did that hinder us from starting a friendship? Absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. It's just, like, such a cute way to get to know people. And once again, like, don't be scared to reach out. Like, the bigs are really, really gonna appreciate it. And, you know, like, you might have missed out on an amazing big, and you're only finding out how amazing she is, like, after Big Little, because you never, like, you weren't comfortable to reach out. Like, that's so sad. I've seen that, like, when I was the member educator, and I'm like, it's so sad, because it just makes me sad, you know? So really, really reach out. Don't be scared, and make the most of Big Little, because it's honestly such a cute and fun experience. And seeing it go on, like, the semesters after me, I'm like, I wish that I had that, you know? Like, I miss it. It's so cute. Make the most out of it. These are a couple of things that go on when you're a new member. Obviously, at the end of your new member period, you get initiated. I can't talk about initiation. Like, everyone has different rituals. Everyone has different things that they do. It's very secretive. My chapter always does a little, like, brunch after it, so it's a super cute way to be like, okay, like, you guys are formally invited and integrated in the sorority, let's go out for lunch, let's, like, celebrate and stuff like that. It's super cute. But yeah, so once you are initiated, you become an active member. So to finish off this video, I'm going to, like, talk a little bit about being an active member and what it entails and how it's, like, different from your new member period. So a big thing here, strengthening your relationships. I've been in the sorority for 5 semesters, and again, people who I was super close with my first semester, yes, some I'm still super close with now, so I'm not as close with, and it's fine, because you find the people who are, like, your people, you know? Like, that doesn't mean that the girl who you befriended your first semester is a bad person. It just means that you have more experience in the sorority. You've strengthened your connections with other girls. Like, you know the girls who are more similar to you, and it's like, yeah, this girl you met your first semester, like, you're always gonna have that connection, but getting to know other people, you find this much stronger connection. And I feel like I'm like super grateful, because I feel like I've generally had the same friend group for my first year in the sorority. But there's this one girl, Emily, if you're watching this, it blows my mind, because she joined this semester after me. When we talked, it was just for my position. Like, we barely talked, and then she was a VP this semester, and we really only started talking because of her VP position. And then we ended up going out to dinner after chapter 1, and from then we got super close. And it blows my mind, because we had barely talked for, like, a year and a half. And now, like, I tell her so much. Like, we literally went to IKEA, me, her, and her boyfriend, who came from, like, Ireland, like, buying him all the shit that he needed, like, literally supervising him so he doesn't buy, like, dumb things, because this man was gonna buy, like, a $90 pillow, and we were both like, what the hell, you know? But it's like, it blows my mind, because I never thought I'd have this relationship, like, with Em. There's this other girl who joined, like, last winter, and we never really talked. But then in the fall, I think we were having, like, a sister study, and we started talking. Then we were hanging out every single day in the fall. We would always, like, text each other, hey, like, are you studying? Like, do you want to study together? You want to go up dinner together? Like, it's, you know, it's just, there's just, like, something so magical about being in a sorority and making these connections, because you really never know, like, who's gonna become your closest friend in, like, a week and a month, you know? Like, yeah, sure, you do have your core friend group, but I've just been super grateful that I've always sought out these relationships, like, outside of my core friend group. I feel like I'm someone who, yes, I have my closest friends, but I really, like, hop around in the sorority, And I feel like that's the best way to go for it. Like, obviously you're not gonna tell your going out friend all of your tea. That's gonna be like your closer friend group. But really, like, be that person who just, you know, like, gets to know everyone, has these connections with everyone, because that is honestly how I was able to make the most out of my experience, like, in the sorority. Another tip here is to involve yourself in optional events. Obviously, as a new member, you want to go to as many events as possible, but also as an active, some events are mandatory. So obviously, like, you should go to those, but some are optional, and going to optional events is so much fun. Again, I got so close with so many people at these events, and you wouldn't think like a tabling event, you would start talking to someone and become super close with them. You wouldn't think that, but that's how it is, you know? And honestly, like, sorority retreats are something that my sorority started to do, and they're some of the best things ever. Taking your time out of your weekend to drive up in a car with 3 to 4 other girls in your car and just spending a night, like, having fun with a huge group of friends. Like, it's just, you know, like, yeah, sure, you go to cottages with your friends, but you're maybe like 10 people max, right? There's just something about going with like 20 plus people, 30 people. It's just an experience. Like, yeah, sure, there can be corporate events in your future, but there is nothing like a sorority retreat where you're like 20 to 30 girls, maybe even more sometimes depending on your chapters, just blasting music, screaming, dancing, having fun. There's like memories from our last retreat. You could see people becoming so much more just like comfortable being themselves around other people. Like, looking at the new members from this semester, I'm like, I know that having this made their experience so much better than other semesters, because I could really see the connections that were forming. And you might find someone who you know, you guys were just like on acquaintance terms, but then being in this retreat, something clicks, you get to start talking, and this major like beautiful bond forms. I feel like I'm like being like way too sappy, but the retreat that we did this semester, looking back now, like, obviously it's hard to plan for a big group of people, but looking back now, I see how much everyone, like, whether you've been in it for 4 years, whether it's your first semester, how everyone benefited from it. So really go to the optional events. I feel like those are what really, really bonds you guys and strengthens the friendships in the sorority. And finally, the last little thing I want to say in this video, run for leadership positions. Obviously, some people are more enticed, more like determined to have these leadership roles, to make a change, to like contribute to the sorority. And some people aren't, and that's perfectly fine. You know, maybe you're not as interested in it. Like, this is just a fun thing on the side for you, which is perfectly fine. Maybe you don't have time, which is perfectly fine. You just like, you know, you're giving as much time as you can to this, like, to the sorority, and you can provide more time, which is totally fine. Other people, they want to make a change. They want to shape the future of the sorority, which, like, just because you're one way versus the other, it doesn't mean you're a better person or you're not, or you're more dedicated or you're not. It's just like who you are as a person, you know, like, if you feel like you want to take on this role or not. Again, it doesn't, like, there's nothing bad about wanting to take a leadership position or not, but if you are thinking about it, go do it. The experience that you get is absolutely amazing. It taught me so much about me and about like me, like myself as a person, how I work with other people, how I manage other people, because mine were more like managing people than like planning events, like also planning big events, because that was like a small part of my job. Like, I learned so much as new member educator. You're the person who all the new members like look to for maybe a 6-week period per semester. Looking at it now, you're basically like a mini president for the new members. It was so much work. Like, honestly, was I ready for that amount of work? No. But after having been new member educator for a year and then being president now, I learned so much in terms of leadership, how I work with other people, what I need myself to be a better leader, like how to be the leader that other people need, you know, because like some people need this type of person to like motivate them and stuff like that. Other people need this other type of person. And you learn how to work with people. Like, the biggest thing I learned is how to work with people, and there's no way to get that experience without doing it, you know? Like, take someone who's like late 20s who doesn't have any like managerial experience, like working, I don't want to say on top people, but being like the head of something, like managing people. I probably have more experience in these like 1.5 years than someone who's like 28 and who has not done that. Sometimes it does take a toll on you, but you learn so much, again, about yourself, about other people, stuff like that. And I have seen a difference. At the end of every single semester, I've seen a difference. And even like being president for just one semester, the person who I was January 1st compared to now June 1st, like when I'm filming this June 1st, a completely different person. My time management got so much better. Because I'm a very sensitive person to external things that are happening. I am able to like regulate how things affect me so much more. Just like prioritizing better. Again, time management, where it's like I see my friends more often. I have more of a social life now than I did before because I know what I need to function in all these realms of my life. I learned that I'm someone who, the more I have on my plate, the more I like get my shit together. So for me, it was an amazing role. Like, yes, obviously I did struggle. It was hard. It wasn't smooth sailing. Managing my engineering degree with this, like with my roles, were extremely hard, but you can do it. Like if you're dedicated, you can do it. You're gonna come out of it so much stronger, such a more like elevated person. And these skills that you learn here are skills that people learn when they're working, but you can learn these like in your late teens, early 20s, instead of like late 20s, early 30s. I really feel like these are the skills that when you're older, like, and you have a job, these are the skills that are going to get you to managerial positions, that are going to get you promoted, because you know how to work with people. Like, it's one thing to be social and it's one thing to know how to work with people. And I feel like once you have that experience, even if it's just planning like 2 events per semester, having that experience is really gonna like set you aside in a good way in the future. I'm not saying go for president if you know you cannot handle it. No, because like it's a lot. Like obviously I knew what I was getting into, but I also didn't, you know, like go for what you think you can handle, and there are going to be ups and downs. It's going to be hard. Some people are going to be testing your patience, and that's perfectly normal. But again, learning how to work with people is one of the best skills you can get. And there's not many ways to get that. Yes, you have team projects, but it's a very different set of people skills. And that's honestly one of the things I'm the most grateful about, like my experiences in the sorority, because I learned so much, and it just made me realize like what was important to me, what's worth my time, what's worth me prioritizing. Again, I was able to manage like my health. I was taking 18.5 credits. I was doing 6 classes, and I was managing the sorority. I was working also at some point, and I was having a social life. I was going out, I was seeing my friends. It was really when I took on a role that meant a lot to me, that was important to me, that everything kind of fit into place. I don't know if this is making sense, because I feel like I'm like talking about all over the place over here, because I didn't really prepare any points, especially for this like last one, because I just wanted to see what comes out of my mouth when I talk. But yeah, basically that's gonna be it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I hope that, you know, me having been VP new member educator and currently president gives me a bit of like credibility. You know, I hope that you take my advice. Like obviously different universities have different sorority, fraternity experiences, like different chapters, different sororities have different ways of doing things. But I feel like what I said over here is pretty like general things that can apply to any org at any sorority. No, any org at any university. Once again, I hope you guys really enjoyed today's video. Subscribe down below if you want subscribe down below to see more sorority content. Leave a thumbs up so I know that you guys really enjoyed this video. And if you're in a sorority, let me know what other like tips or little like things you would have added to this video. And if you're not and you have more questions, definitely go check me out on Instagram. I've been talking for so long that I forgot if I mentioned it, but my Instagram is down below, or even in the comments. Like if you want it to be more private, definitely like I was gonna say feel shy. Don't feel shy to text me on Instagram. Or if you also want to help other people out, don't hesitate to leave in the comments down below. I'm here to talk to you guys, to help you guys, because I know that like it can be a lot. You might have so many questions, because same I had so many questions when I first joined, but honestly it's one of the best things that I did during university. And I really hope that if you're watching this video that you really want to be a part of this, like you want to contribute to a sorority, you want to better yourself and better other people, have these amazing experiences. I'm gonna stop rambling, but yeah, I basically said everything that I wanted to say. So stay safe, protect your vibe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.